Good morning from the Badlands. It is day, day five of our journey. And in today's video, I and my travel companion for the first part of this trip are going to talk through what went well, what didn't go well, and would we do it again? Which is almost a moot question for me because tomorrow I'm dropping my friend off at the airport and then I'm going to solo all the way up into Canada. I'm excited about. But first, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I don't normally talk this quiet. It's just very early morning here in the Badlands, Cedar Pass Campground. My name is Jennifer Preston. My husband Michael and I are the OG Happier Campers. We got our first rig, an HC1, in 2016, and today we have an HCT. And this channel is really for people who want to learn something about the Happier Camper rigs, as well as if you're new to camping or just thinking of starting. Hopefully we have some content that will help you out. So let's get started, and we can introduce my friend. I'm wondering if you guys can hear the birds here. I think it's called a meadowlark. Ellen and I have our apps to identify bird sound. And it occurred to me that this might be the ultimate old lady camping accessory. That's the thing that we were both like instantly able to do, was to identify bird sound. I'll put a link to the app I use to identify bird song. Ellen hasn't come out of the camper yet. She's just getting ready. But I'll tell you one thing that went really right. And that was having an opportunity to do this with her. Ellen is my best friend. We've known each other since we were 15 years old, and we're both 57. And it's sheer pleasure to get a week with someone you love so much but never get to see. It's one of those friendships where we don't have to have seen each other for a year, and it just feels like we were together yesterday. Very, very lucky. And that's been the best part of the trip for me. Let's see what she says when she comes over.
Completely.
Totally. Thank you for doing this. Being on camera is not Ellen's favorite thing, but she loves me, so she's willing to do this. We might be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you are.
Yeah, that's the camera right there.
Morning.
So I just didn't open. I was saying how, like, I wanted to just cover the things that went well, the things that didn't go well. And for me, I've been doing this for 8 years. I've been doing a lot of camping. But I was curious, from your perspective as a infrequent camper, but someone who's thinking about buying a big rig. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you just look right there into the camera, and then you can tell people what do you think went well?
Oh, lots have gone well.
Easier to start with what didn't go well?
The weather affected everything.
It affected everything.
And it's hard to plan when you know it's going to be hot, but you don't know how hot, and you don't know how much heat the camper's going to retain.
Yeah.
And how much time you want to spend inside because it is so hot.
That to me is a killer, right?
Yeah.
So what happened for us was we hit a heat wave. It was extraordinarily hot. Our first 2 nights daytime temperatures were in the high 90s. And, when you're driving and you're in the AC, that doesn't matter, that's not a big deal. But when you stop, and I had planned these like 4 to 5 hour days, right?
Yeah.
Which meant 5 to 6 once you included stops. So what that meant was that I had thought we would have the afternoons to enjoy the places we were staying. But, when you get out and you can look at, I'm looking at the weather map, like every time we stop, and I'm like, oh my God, it's only getting hotter.
And even in the middle of the night, it was only going to 80s.
Yeah. And so it was so hot during the day that we couldn't get outside and do the things that I thought we would just enjoy doing, like walking around the lavender farm or that kind of stuff. But then when it got into the evening, the AC, I will do a separate video on the AC unit. It worked fine. It took us a while to figure out how to get it to work the way it needed to. And it never fully cooled down the interior of the rig. Like, my expectation was it was going to be like an apartment.
Yeah.
Right?
You walk in and the cold air just hits you in the face. And,
Yeah, that did
and
not
you snuggle
happen.
under the blankets and...
That was not our experience. So night one was in Cypress Black Bayou, Louisiana. That was a beautiful location. We were right on a lake.
Yeah. Lots of shade, everything.
Yeah.
It just was too hot and humid.
Yeah, but we had a hookup, which was important because we were able to use the AC unit without worrying about the battery. And the only thing we did wrong that night was we did not tilt the AC unit back far enough. And I mean, we ran that thing for 14 hours. And there was a lot of water in the camper when we woke up in the morning on the floor, which was actually fine. Like, Ellen was kind of like, oh my God, there's all this water. And I was like, oh, that's how you clean the camper. You take a hose, you take all your cubes, you hose down the interior. It was no big deal. Second night was at a beautiful lavender farm in Oklahoma, which was so lovely. They had a great little store. We got to buy lots of stuff.
Yeah, it's a great little isolated area for
Yeah,
campers.
yeah.
We were the only one in.
Yeah, and it was level, which was nice.
And they said different wildlife walks right through there. And
Yeah.
we didn't see any because it was too hot. And they were smart.
Exactly.
They
They're
stayed
like,
underground.
I'm not moving.
Yeah.
But that night we didn't have a hookup, so we were totally relying on the camper battery. And I felt pretty confident we were going to be okay. And it was
3 a.m.
the 3 a.m.
I remember it well.
Yeah.
Everything stopped.
Everything stopped. The camper started beeping because the battery was in distress. We drained it. We didn't fully drain it though, because as we were driving, the solar panel was recharging the battery, so that warning actually saved us from fully draining the battery, which was great. But it was a not pleasant night. In fact, we've talked about it. That night we were both like, we didn't vocalize this to each other, but both of us felt like, is this like, should we just turn around?
Yeah.
Because I have a nice pool. That would have been a good vacation. But we powered through the day, and we made I think we made a key decision, which is that instead of going to a state park in Kansas, we decided to go to a hotel because we were just extraordinarily hot and grumpy. We need to recharge.
Shower and a whole bit.
Yeah. And we could have showered in the camper, but, you know, we needed a break.
It was so hot.
Yeah. But that was great because that really did reset us. And I think we expected that to be like, okay, all right, we're in great shape now. Let's go, which we did.
We did.
And it was great, except what was the other weather condition we had?
Wind. Never ending.
Like serious wind. So
getting stronger by the minute.
Yeah.
Rocking the camper.
Yeah, like so
Rocking it.
We spent I don't even know what night this was. The third night,
I think it
Sunday.
Was,
Sunday night we spent at this Harvest Host, 4 County Beef in Nebraska, which was absolutely lovely. And the hosts were just so gracious. But the wind was gusting up
intense.
to 45 to 50 miles an hour. And I know you don't think it would have made much of a difference. We hadn't unhooked, and I think I should have put down the stabilizers. I think it would help a little, but the camper was absolutely buffeted by the wind all night. And
we were on
we just
kind of
didn't
soft
sleep.
ground too, right? We didn't stabilize. You didn't have. Oh, okay.
That would have helped a little bit, but yeah. So
we were on like a lawn, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, the wind just got so bad all night. It kept getting worse.
Yeah.
And
at one point,
it wasn't the temperature. The temperature was fine.
No. At one point, I thought, like, is this dangerous? Should we be getting into the car? I was pretty nervous about it.
I felt like I was on a carnial ride.
And I don't think we slept, man. It was rough. So, like,
we didn't
literally,
because at 6 a.m. you said we're leaving.
I was like, let's get on the road, man. This is just like, we got to get out of this place. So yeah, and then we headed up to South Dakota, and that was a beautiful ride, man. I mean,
miles and miles of
like going to like the things that have been good.
Yep.
The beauty of the places that we've driven through have been absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I mean, I was so surprised. I had never really, I mean, I had like clipped Nebraska on a road trip before, but I'd never really driven like we did.
Right.
And we were on secondary roads for sure, right? I mean, like our drive from Nebraska up to South Dakota was for the most part on a 2-lane road.
Yeah.
And it was gorgeous.
Like 100 miles or close to it.
Yeah.
Of nothing but pasture and
Cattle
horses and cows, and then we got into reservation land, and
yeah, it's been amazing.
Just beautiful.
And now, so we spent our first night here at Cedar Pass Campground and inside of the Badlands National Park, and it is so beautiful here. It's hard to describe.
Temperature cooled down to
no
like
weather issues.
60, no.
And we slept like babies last night.
Oh, it was
so we have because we have the HCT, we have 2 separate sleeping areas. So it's like we each had our little cubby hole that we could curl up in and we could use the furry blankets, which was so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close the windows.
We used the heat. Used the heat last night.
The heat came on perfectly.
By the way, I turned the gas off this morning, and I went in, and as I was turning it off, I thought, oh, should I like turn the heat off in the camper before I do this? And so I went back in the camper, and the heater had thrown an alert, an error message. So I'm hoping I don't have to like restart or like reset the heat systems for tonight.
The heater was still running in the bathroom when I just came.
No, that was the fan. I'd set the fan up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at that little bird. There's
I took a picture of one of those.
Birds.
I tried to get close.
Yeah. So like from what's gone right, what do you think has gone right?
Lots have gone right. It's a
best parts
very,
of the trip.
Well, being with you.
So I
seeing all the sights and with ease, like you're bringing to mind that having something small like this it's easier to get around, and it's more work than just pulling up and but it's as long as you're organized, it's so functional. All the storage and all the refrigeration you have, and
the camper works well. It really does.
Yeah.
But that point about you really do need to be mentally prepared that everything you've got is in a storage cube in the car, right? And so you always really need to have in your head a map of where everything is, and
because you're assembling and disassembling.
Yeah. But today's going to be a great day. We are off to Crazy Horse Memorial, which has been on my personal bucket list. I think we may or may not, we're not sure, go to Mount Rushmore. I know it is a beautiful site. I also know it was created on sacred land that shouldn't have been built on. And so I have very mixed feelings. I don't know if Native Americans have created some kind of an experience there that's educational, that can help people understand. Like if there was something that was valuable from a historical perspective, that the Native American people had control over that narrative, I think I would probably want to go, just because then I could learn something there. But what I do know just makes me so sad and angry about how Native people have been treated in this country, and I don't know why it matters to me, but it always has. So yeah, so
because they were here first, and they're good people, and
if only we had adopted their ways as opposed to European ways. But anyway, that's another video for another time. Well, it's funny because before you came out, I just did an intro, and one of the things I said was, I was going to talk about what went well, what didn't go well. And I said that I'd be curious to see what you said, but for me, the best thing has been that we've gotten to spend time together.
Yes. Which is rare these days. Yeah,
we don't get to do it very often, and you've known me at my best and my worst, so it's been
same.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for helping me sleep. Happier camper. I am happier today, that's for sure. Because we slept like rocks.
Thank God. So we're going to show you a little bit about what Crazy Horse Memorial looks like as we close out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I hope to see you out camping.
See ya.